Hey, welcome everybody to the guide. We're coming live to you from E3.
Whoa, man, it's crazy out here.
I wish we were live at
Yeah.
E3. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Maybe next year, you know?
Maybe next
You
year.
can always have dreams.
Yes, we can. But we are going to talk all about E3 in this week's update because that's pretty much all that's been going on this week.
Basically, a lot of E3 news.
Oh man, it's been absolutely incredible the amount of information coming out of E3. Let's cover the three press conferences.
Right.
First, Microsoft did their press conference on Monday, and give us a quick rundown of some of the major revelations and your quick thoughts on their presentation.
Well, Microsoft didn't really have any major revelations at
they
their
didn't.
press conference.
No surprises.
Honestly, they brought a good amount of games to the table, and they also introduced this thing called Smart Glass.
That was
which-
probably the most interesting part of the press conference.
it seems like their attempt at utilizing the idea of the Wii U tablet controller
Yep.
to integrate, but capable of doing that with any of your tablet devices.
What was your impression of Smart Glass? Because the first thing I thought was, okay, they missed the boat when the first Wii came out. And they're like, well, motion control, that's stupid. And then 2 years later, 2.5 years later, like, wow, they're making a lot of money off of motion control. We better do that. And so it seems like this time around, when Nintendo made their announcement last year, like, tablet controller. All right, guys, you got 1 year to come up with something to top that. What was your impression of Smart Glass?
I would not use it. That's my impression. My impression
That's
is
a good summation. I would not use it.
I don't know. I suppose
End of commentary.
I don't feel like they've made Smart Glass, but they didn't really think about what kind of games they're going to use it with.
Right. The gaming applications seem very distant.
Yeah, so they're kind of on two separate planes,
Right.
and I don't know how it's going to be efficiently utilized.
So you're telling me that you would not use Smart Glass so that when you're watching Game of Thrones, you could get a map that would tell you what direction the characters were going in? That wouldn't be useful to you?
I really don't care that much. maybe just being a Star Wars enthusiast, if I could have, a map of the galaxy as
That'd be kind of cool.
they're going through the movies.
There you go.
But really, that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
But it's not much.
The game applications were all in like a pre-concept stage.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a part of what happens with Smart Glass when they launch it this fall.
No.
But the whole thing just seemed like Wii 2 to me. That's what Microsoft was saying.
We can do it too.
Yeah, that seemed like what they were saying.
I think Microsoft's strong suits, as far as their press conference,
Right.
were the upcoming games.
Yeah.
And just a few of them too. Not
Yeah.
all of them. Halo 4,
Halo
obviously.
4, yeah.
Black Ops 2
Yeah.
seems to catch attention. And then one that caught my attention, surprisingly, was Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider
Because-
had a strong demo there.
Yeah, I feel like they're taking an entire new approach to the Tomb
Right.
Raider game and how the levels and dynamics are built.
Well, last year it seemed like it was all QuickTime events.
Yeah.
And this year what they showed off seemed like more, I'm actually going to play a game instead of an interactive movie. So
Right.
that was good. Moving on to Sony's press conference. Sony, I don't know, they seem to kind of have a strange attitude. You can read kind of how I felt about like just the overall energy and attitude of their press conference at our website, gameandmovieguide.com, but it just seemed a little weird. However, they had some great exclusives. The big reveal of Beyond from the makers of Heavy Rain, that was
Right.
really interesting.
Which is taking a lot of aspects of Heavy
Right.
Rain, but moving it into a more action-based, controllable environment.
and the very subject matter, what happens after death? I want to play the game. I was telling this to Steve-O. I want to play the game so I can write about it, and write about it from a Christian perspective. Because here they're like, no one really knows what happens after death, and this game we're going to try to explore some of that. And like, man, I would love to bring a Christian perspective and write about that, having played the game. And my first thought was, what do you mean no one knows what happens after death? There's a guy. He was a historical figure. He actually died. He actually rose again. Pretty sure he could tell us what happens after death. Of course, that would be Jesus Christ, and he does tell us in the Bible. So, but still, fascinating game, fascinating subject matter.
Definitely.
I would love to play that one. Now, the thing that was the weirdest part, I think, of the Sony press conference, the the PlayStation 3 Wonder Book.
Ooh, yes.
What did you think of Wonder Book?
I wondered why it was created, basically.
Wonder Book augmented reality interactive storybook. You use the PlayStation Eye, the camera on the PlayStation 3, and it'll bring the storybook to life. J.K. Rowling's writing one of the first books for it.
Yeah, the Book of Spells.
Yeah.
I like this. In the caption, it was, teach your kids how to cast spells. Okay.
Which brings up a whole lot of issues right there, which could be interesting. Of course, you use the PlayStation Move feature for that, which was funny because right before they did Wonderbook, they talked about the PlayStation Move and how, well, yeah, we have games that have PlayStation Move, but you don't need to use it for those games if you don't want to. And like PlayStation Move just seemed like pushed to the side in a big way this year.
Yeah.
Like they're almost giving up on it. But then Wonderbook, oh, you have to use it for Wonderbook. I don't know. Wonderbook, I agree. I was just wondering what was going on. Like, and it took forever.
Yeah.
It was a huge part of their press conference, and how you could almost hear the hardcore gamers in the crowd just dozing off.
It did not seem to be received that well.
It didn't. And then the demo didn't even work the way they're supposed to on stage, which always inspires confidence. And then moving on to Nintendo's press conference, all about the Wii U, which was expected, and they brought a lot of games.
They did. They announced Donkey Kong, a Pikmin 3, another Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS. Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS.
Zombie U.
Zombie U from Ubisoft. That one looked like it's going to do some really cool things with the gamepad. Of all the games they demonstrated, that's the one where I started thinking, that could really make for a different type of game experience.
Right, and then another big thing is they're utilizing the Wii U with the Wii Fit.
Yes, and that also had me excited because it does bring a different dimension to some of the activities and ways that you could get fit with Wii Fit.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. That looked pretty cool. What was your impression overall of Wii U? After kind of seeing it in action, do you want one, or are you still kind of like, I don't know?
I would... I don't know. I think there's great potential in it, but there's still
unanswered questions.
There's still unanswered questions, and there's still not a lot of games that, for Nintendo that I would really want to utilize this with.
Right, and I think a lot of the stuff that they showed, like Batman, Arkham City, Mass Effect 3, really, am I going to be that excited about using a second screen for those games that I'll want to repurchase that game, replay that game, and buy a new console to replay that game? All because it has a second screen.
I could understand if Assassin's Creed 3 was coming out for Nintendo, that would be great. I could have a map,
it's
I could
not
have
a
my inventory.
Game. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of questions left. No price point. No firm release date. And Nintendo Land, which is going to be kind of like the Wii Sports game that kind of helps you understand why it's cool. It wasn't made really clear to me if that's going to be bundled with the system. It needs to if they want to have the same success that they did with Wii Sports and the Wii. But that wasn't really made clear. So a lot of unanswered questions there. Quick assessment there of everything going on at E3. Of course, Star Wars 1313 was unveiled. Got some more details on that. What'd you think about that?
I'm excited for it. It looks phenomenal.
Drake's fortune in the Star Wars universe. I'm down for that.
And
absolutely.
Honestly, I'm excited that Halo is taken over by another company because I feel like there's a whole new life and spirit behind
it looked good.
This generation of Halo.
Yeah,
so,
it looked really good.
I'm excited for that.
So a lot of big games that they're talking about. We covered as much of it as we can at GameAndMovieGuide.com. And a couple other things to mention really quick. Prometheus, Ridley Scott returning to sci-fi this week. And his movie released with some ties to Alien. If you want to read our review on that, because obviously we don't have time now to go into it, check out GameAndMovieGuide.com. Also, the Green Lantern is gay, and we talk about that with our comic book reviews.
Only in the alternative universe.
Only alternative lifestyle, alternative universe. We talk all about that at the guide. Albuquerque Comic Expo this weekend. We got some some coverage of that. And I think that's it.
You think? Maybe that's all.
I hope so.
Until next time.
It's been a busy week. So, lots to explore. Stop by our website.
Yeah, GameAndMovieGuide.com. Join in on Facebook discussions at Facebook.com/GameAndMovieGuide. And also, if you're out there on Twitter and Google+,
look us up. And, of course, more from our friends at HollywoodJesus.com.